Hi guys, what's up? You're tuned in to a special show on Bloomberg Quint. Yes, I am taking you back in time, and I'm not taking you back in time to just, well, a few years ago. Well, need I say more? When I show you beasts like this, you know it's going to be an interesting show, and there's a lot more. If I could quickly show you a few more, right here at the Nehru Science Centre in Worli in Mumbai. Well, this is a grand exhibition. They call it Heritage on Wheels. And from cars to bikes, military bikes, to cars you've seen in perhaps Hollywood and Bollywood films, I'm going to take you walk through all of these particular beasts. But I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to do it with someone who's organized all of this. Yash Ruya, thanks so much for joining us, Yash. Yash is the secretary at the Vintage and Classic Car Club of India. It's a tongue twister, the VCCCI. Yash, thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Now you're going to take us, well, from chronologically, from which year? We're going to start from
1886.
From the year 1886, all the way till today almost. But I'll tell you, there'll be supercars, at least back then what we called supercars. There'll be bikes, which will blow your mind if you are an enthusiast. And then, of course, there'll be this. Now, this doesn't look very fancy to you today in 2018, but Yash, it's very significant because this was perhaps the first time someone said, hey, let's make a car.
This was probably one of the first motor cars ever built motorized.
Okay.
It's a single-stroke piston,
right?
Single-stroke engine, and it's from the year 1886. This was the first car which Carl Benz built.
Benz.
Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
So Carl Benz built this car, and it was patented by him.
Right.
So that's why it's called the patent wagon.
Okay, it's the patent wagon. I'll give you guys a little bit of a lowdown on this as well. It is, some of these cars are owned by enthusiasts, Yash being one of them. And this one, when I asked Yash saying, hey, will you take me for a spin later? Well, this actually functions. It works on benzene, if I'm right?
Benzene, that's right.
Awesome. So if we move on, so that guy actually functions. It's not just him. Well, here as well, you have the quadricycle. Why is this significant, and which year are we talking about
This
here?
is 1896.
Okay.
So this is the first car made by Henry Ford.
Okay.
And it's a two-stroke engine that we have.
Okay.
And it's called the quadricycle because it has four wheels.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's called a quadricycle.
Well, there are automotive companies in India really hoping to get a quadricycle in. Well, this is the first real...
and this one runs on petrol.
On petrol. So we had moved from benzene to petrol. And of course, this one's... What I find most interesting about this is, guys, is this lovely, well, upholstery on the seat.
If you notice...
Very classy.
If you notice, there's a horn and a light as well.
A horn. And this is in the year 1886.
1896.
1896. Very interesting. I think very interesting visuals as well. But now, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Okay, I'm joking. This is the moment where we actually skip a few years and move to something which is perhaps most significant to all auto junkies. If you're a true auto junkie, then you have to know what this is. Yash, take us through what this is.
This is a Ford Model T, the first mass-produced car in the world.
Right.
And this car was available only in black. Henry Ford said that you can have it in any color as long as it's black.
Okay, now since this is so significant for, well, when we're talking about revolution and automobiles, can we, let's go closer towards the gun. You can take us through it as well. Come this side, guys. I want you guys to see as well. You guys can comment if you want us to show you something in particular or ask any questions. Yash is here. We're going to get a motorbike enthusiast and a restoration expert as well. I'm going to take all your comments, so keep them coming. Actually, I want to show you some visuals as well. Neat two-seater, but I think you and I can fit in this here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, but it was a two-seater, and this is again in working condition.
Yeah. It drove down here.
It drove down here? This is this is from your collection as well?
No, this is from Mr. Kona's collection.
Okay. So we're getting a lot of comments as well. I'm going to take them as we get them. Lovely. You got a spare wheel on the side as well.
Yeah.
We move on. Okay, now this is spacious. Will this open?
Yeah, sure.
Will this? Whoa. Interesting.
This is a Packard Twin 6. So one of the earliest V12 engines that you can have. Probably one of, having a V12 engine in 1919.
Yeah.
So that was something.
No, absolutely. This is special. And this is, of course, very spacious at the back. Is it fine if I get in?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Please.
Okay, I can get in. And, well, we'll say Alex is not there on this show, but there's plenty of space. It looks good. It feels really cool. It feels like a Victorian carriage. But I want to ask you one more thing, Yash. The way you guys have planned this exhibition, very special. And I'm glad that I got a chance to sit in it. Maybe sometime we'll take it for a spin as well. Okay, I'm going to leave it just like that. But what's special about this is that you've planned this exhibition, Yash, in a way that you split them in terms of their eras.
So we've split them in Edwardian, Vintage and Classic.
So we go into Edwardian.
So this is Edwardian.
We go ahead and
then we have your Vintage.
Right.
And then we have our Classic cars.
So the Classic cars would be right ahead.
Yeah.
And of course then towards the end I'll also show you what, well, at some point in time, everyone called supercars. They're pretty special. But I want to ask you, this one seems very special as well.
This is a Ford Model A. So again, a revolution by Ford.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the common cars, like we have the Santro or the Fiats of today. So this was one of the common cars then.
But the only thing is, Yash, it is, well, perhaps a very common car back in 1930.
Yeah.
But now this one would be very expensive,
of course.
I'd imagine. Well, some of these cars, from moving on from the Edwardian, closer towards, well, some of the American manufacturers, I know it's subjective, but if someone was very enthusiastic about this and would have to put a price tag on it, I know it's almost impossible, very difficult, but what would that price tag be on some of these?
You can't put a price tag on these cars.
You can't put a price tag. It's one of those commercials that say, well, they're priceless. But we will try to get some numbers out from Yash and from the bike side of it as well. This is, Yash, also you know what you do notice is a sudden design change from here onwards.
So it changes era-wise.
Yeah.
So we were till the 1920s, then we are in the 1930s now. So that's how the body styles change.
Yeah.
1930s, 40s, 50s. So you see the body styling changing in all the years.
Yeah, yeah.
Year after year.
And so this one, is there a backstory to this one on this one? Because I feel like there's a backstory here as well. In terms of, well, it is a Model A, but the owner out here, is it someone who...
He's a collector. He has a lot of cars, Mr. Kadam.
Okay. Is there a big community, Yash, of...
no, it's a small...
It's a very niche, very small. All throughout the country? You guys
all throughout the country.
And you guys look after the entire association. Yash, if we move on, there's one thing that caught my eye. Let's look at one of the last cars in this era. Which era are we in right now?
The Vintage.
The Vintage. Okay, this is the Vintage era. And this one caught my eye. Well, the Hudson, the Phaeton.
Yeah, this is Mr. Dosa's car.
Okay.
And it's a Hudson 8-cylinder car.
Right.
And it's very rare to find this kind of a body style in a Hudson, a tourer.
Right.
So probably maybe 1 or 2 cars surviving in the world.
1 or 2 cars, and we have one right here in Mumbai right now.
India had a lot of these, specially bodied cars. Not this one, but the specially bodied cars. India was a big market for vintage cars then.
Yeah.
Because of the Maharajas.
No, of course. And this one is very special when it comes to design. I think, you know, it's
a 7-seater.
It's a 7-seater. Wow. So in today's SUV market, when everyone's talking about 7-seaters, well, we had one back then in the previous century as well. And it is beautiful. I think it's some brilliant design work. Of course, a lot of it has been restored as well. Is it, Yash?
All of them have been restored.
I mean, it's not, I mean, a lot of them have a lot of up-to-date upholstery and stuff like that. And the paint jobs keep getting done again and again.
But, I mean, people do try and stick to the original colors, the original combinations.
Right. And this is an industry by itself, isn't it? I mean, there are experts who are doing just this in the bigger cities.
There are restorers who just restore vintage cars.
So, I mean, if you were to, you know, count a few, not name a few, but how many would be fine in a city like Mumbai or Delhi? Who do
maybe
justice?
4 or 5
4 or 5. So
in Bombay.
It's a costly job. Yeah. It's a costly hobby. It's not that cheap. This is the last car of the lot in this era, right?
So this one has a very interesting history. It is Maharaja of Datia's car.
Okay.
A princely state of Datia in UP.
The Packard.
Yeah, the Packard. It's owned by Mr. Vivek Goenka of the Indian Express.
Right.
And if you see the wheelbase of the car, it's a short and narrow wheelbase. Probably the only one built in the world.
Okay.
Because in that time there were no roads, motorable roads. So these were built to drive on the cart roads.
So
the cart
even on the kacha rasta, so
the cart tracks. So the bullock carts.
Right, right.
So this could drive on that. So and if you notice the wheels, these are disc wheels.
Absolutely.
Majority of the car came in spoke wheels at then.
Absolutely. Which is a very different design, a very different purpose as well.
That's because if the roads weren't there, the spokes would break. So it's a single disc.
So this is, I mean, more inspired from similar to what other carts would have, but very interesting.
Probably specially modified for India, you can say.
Yeah, come, let's have a look on the inside. Again, this was a big one as well. enough legroom for, well, everyone.
For the Maharaja.
For the Maharaja and his entourage. And very, very interesting in terms of, well, even this soft top. Okay, we're getting a lot of comments. Old is gold. Bunty Gubble says old is gold. We also have, well, a lot of you watching. Thanks so much for watching. We also have Santosh on Twitter. He says, any chance of having a ride in any of these cars? Well, the organizers are here. You can ask him. I'll give you one piece of advice at least. We will start some of the cars or bikes if we can, but we won't take them out on the road. But if you roam around South Bombay ever on a Sunday or even around Bandra, I promise you, these guys are out and they're all running and roaring across the streets.
Absolutely.
Right? You will find them working. They're all in working condition, and that's the beauty of these cars. If you stay on till the end, Santosh, there is a little bit of a surprise when it comes to the bikes. And if you're a bike enthusiast, well, then invite your friends to this live broadcast. All right, now we have moved into the quintessential, stereotypical American diner car, the Impala.
This is the Impala, needs no introduction. It was your Bollywood guys who had this car, the flare, the wings at the back.
No, it does. It's beautiful. In fact, I would request our camera person to eventually take us to the wings at the back as well, because, yeah, we've seen these.
This is owned by Hormazji Kama of the Bombay Samachar.
Okay. Well, he seems to be
He
quite
drives
enthusiastic.
this car every single day.
I've seen, in fact, I've seen a lot of these on the roads. The next one as well, I've seen that in around South Bombay as well. But the good thing about this car is, Yash, while they're actually seeing the visuals at the back, you're talking about the tail, is that this is something that is being glamorized. And I think America has done it well, right, with the Chevrolets.
Absolutely.
Be it the Camaro,
And this
be it
car has
this.
the Continental kit as the back.
Oh, it
as
does,
well.
is it?
So the big American Continental kit with the spare wheel.
I'm exploring the car with Yash and you for the first time, as well as the first time I'm so up close and personal. And I think, well, those are visuals you have to see. It's massive though, Yash? This is
The Impala was the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, when you see it in the movies, it looks a lot smaller. When you have those Bollywood actors in the middle of the desert driving it, stopping at an American diner, well, it is huge. This would be one of those parking nightmares, so to speak, in Mumbai city. But we're still...
The owner had a nightmare getting it inside as well.
It was, right? So a lot of all these cars would
Only he could manage getting it inside.
The expert, and it takes someone who's as enthusiastic about it, as zealous about it. That now, it's interesting because we've entered the American stable of cars, but then we have something looking old school as well. This one is European.
All these are European.
Okay, from here onwards. So it is...
That's a Steyr, it's from Belgium.
Right.
And probably a very, very rare car, and owned by the Pitti family from New.
Absolutely. This I've seen all around
Yeah.
Sea Road. Guys, if you guys ever want to catch this, there's only one mean thing that this has, and that's a mean horn. It can wake you up even if you're sitting in Timbuktu, I promise you that. This one, the next one, actually, well, catches your eye, and quite literally, Yash, because this one's special because it doesn't have eyes, so to speak.
It's a cord that created a sensation in the 1936 auto show.
Yeah.
And with the pop-up headlights and the design.
This was perhaps one of the first few cars to come up with the pop-up headlights.
Yes.
And, if you put it on, essentially, guys, these are very shy eyes. They'll open up in the night. And I think it's very special. And if you see this out on the roads, you can actually see them flipping those headlights as well. And this is in the 1930s.
1936.
36. And now if we move ahead...
These are your British cars, the Rolls-Royce.
The Rolls-Royce, so to speak.
The Maharajas always had a connect with the Rolls-Royces.
This is from Patiala.
This is from the princely state of Patiala.
Everyone tuned in from Punjab, well, this is from the princely state of Patiala. And of course, who can miss, well, this? This is something which we see a lot now, even in India and on many modern cars, but, well, this is the original, so to speak, the OG.
Yeah.
We come down over here.
That's a Phantom 2.
That's right. Oh, it's a Phantom 2,
So the top
is
of the line at that time.
Yeah, I'm sure the Phantom, even now, Yash, evokes that sense of top of the line. I think it's a name that they've managed to really live up to and maintain. And then you have, this is also a Rolls-Royce, but it's a little different. This is a 2530.
This is a 2530, so these were the smaller Rolls-Royces made by Rolls-Royce.
Right, so I mean, it's a very bad example, but, well, today we have the Ghost as well.
Yeah, so
right?
something like the Phantom and the
then.
Ghost back then.
But it has, but it does maintain the basic DNA with the lights and the grille, Of course, only I think when it's a little smaller on the inside.
It's smaller on the length.
It's more compact, but it is special. And then, of course, well, since we're talking about Rolls-Royces,
so that was the last Rolls-Royce made by Rolls-Royce before the war.
Wow. Before the Second World War.
Oh, yeah, before the Second World War.
And there's a lot of memorabilia and a lot of interesting things from the pre-World War, post-World War era here at the Nehru Science Center. You should come if you guys want to catch this exhibition. If you're as crazy as all of us, come down and soak in this vintage atmosphere. It's on till the 1st. You're watching a live show. And well, there's nearly a week to go. So come and catch it. Then you obviously catch these cars all over. A lot of them are moving to Pune later as well.
Yeah. So we have a vintage car rally in Pune on the 31st and 1st.
Cars, then drive down in not a vintage car to Pune to get all of these visuals.
That's a Bentley Mark 6. So previously owned by the Maharaja of Mysore.
We've got some nice British competition here right beside the Rolls-Royces. This was owned by the Maharaja of Mysore.
Maharaja of Mysore. But back then, Rolls-Royce owned Bentley.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, I mean, and it's interesting that you say that, because now in the luxury market, there's such a clamor, right? You're saying, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and well, essentially they were coming out of the same DNA. And a lot of these were, and now, I mean, have they been passed on and restored? Like in this case, Maharaja Mysore.
Yeah, it's been restored. It's been completely restored.
It's by someone in Mumbai?
Mr. Dosa is one of the largest collectors in Bombay.
Mr. Dosa is someone we'll get on the show eventually, because I think a lot of these are, if you know where some of these people are traveling, then you can catch them. Marine Drive, Worli Seaface, I see them all the time, but I want to get them all under one roof for you. Well, there's, of course, then we're getting into...
these are the Americans. The 40s American flair. So you have your Chrysler, you have your Ford, and you have your Buick.
This, of course, a lot of you who've been in and around BKC, this was out there on display, and that's where I spotted it the first time, at one of the 5-star hotels over there. 1946, it's a crowd puller. Everyone wants to take a picture with it.
It's a Chrysler Windsor.
Absolutely. And then, while this reads Junagadh, we're actually back to Ford, aren't we?
Yeah.
So this is the Ford Super. It's 1948 when it comes to make. Very interesting. Now interiors. Now we're almost coming into the modern era with interiors.
So those were all customized, all the Rolls-Royce, Bentleys. Now these were all standard productions.
Wow.
Like if you see this is a 4-door, and you compare it to this one, this is a 2-door coupe.
Yeah.
So you had different body styles then as well.
No, absolutely. But still very luxurious. A lot of present-day car makers should take some inspiration from the interior designing over here, because you feel
looking at the leg space,
absolutely,
the driving comfort,
everything. Even aerodynamically, they were back then they were well ahead of their time. And this is now we've moved towards the 40s, right?
Yeah. So these are all the 40s. The post-war.
And that seems like one big beast. We're going to end on that one and then move to supercars and bikes. So stay tuned. Okay?
That's a Buick Super 8.
Wow.
It was owned by the Maharaja of Travancore earlier.
All right.
And it's a Buick convertible.
And now by Justice Vandrewala.
Yeah.
And, okay, I think it's the color that stands out, really.
Absolutely.
Very, very.
But he's maintained the original color on the car.
You know what we'll do, guys? While I've been... having this conversation, there are a lot of bikes that I'm going to get to in a bit, but before I get to these lovely bikes, I'm not going to show you the visuals. Come with me to see some of the supercars. What I will do is, these supercars on this side are special. Now, they don't look like your, typical supercars today, but in that time, this was it, and this is it. If you will look at some of these, and this is obviously a Benz. It's a Model 170 V Cabriolet, 1938 make. Some brilliant paint jobs on it. This is the Riley. It's a 1.5 liter, guys. Beautiful visuals. You can continue seeing that as well. And this Bristol is kind of special. There is a backstory here, considering that it looks just like an aeroplane, because the company actually, designing it back then was actually making planes. So there's a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration when it comes to design. There's a lot of inspiration when it comes to even the tail of the car. It looks very different. So I'm going to take some of your comments in as well. Let's see what you guys have to say. This, my friends, is a Jag. I didn't have to look at any plate there because you can see the lovely Jag right there. And it's kind of interesting because all of these cars have actually participated in a lot of rallies. They've participated in a lot of shows around the world, and they've come back with awards. They've made their owners proud. The MG as well, you know. It's a beautiful car. I'm just going to see if you guys want to see any particular visuals. Great. This one we can go deeper in, guys. We can show them some of the interiors, Yatin. It is. I think, okay, this one, when it comes to leg room, guys, if you're a tall guy, perhaps you wouldn't. There are ways to adjust the seat over here. It is a little congested at the back. But hey, we're talking about, what the 1940s. These are some cars with some heritage. This is 1933. Then, of course, you have the Triumph Junior. Very special car. Very good looking as well, and it is a 1936 supercar. And if you're into Triumph, well, we're going to get you some a little later, but this Super 7, I mean, words would not do justice to look at this two-seater. This is something that looks a lot like the supercars of today. At least there's some inspiration. The two-seater. I'm sort of worried about them not having seat belts. You should wear seat belts, guys, all the time. Now, it's the moment you've been waiting for. We're going to show you, well, essentially, this is what four wheels could do. But now we're going to show you, well, magic on two wheels. If you guys are motorbike enthusiasts, let me know. I want to actually see how many of you guys are, you know, vintage car enthusiasts or four-wheeler enthusiasts, quadricycle included, and how many of you guys are actually, well, two-wheeler enthusiasts. And we'll start from that end to take you through a short walk through the history of motorcycles. Now, I love my cars, but there's a lot of us who love our bikes as well. And we will start with the Triumph motorcycle and with a gentleman who is an expert at restoring these and more enthusiastic than most of us. Anilji, thanks so much for joining us. Absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I wanted to ask you, Anil, if we start from here and document this stable of motorcycles, would we be doing it justice?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from this one then.
Yeah, this one is 1912 11 Triumph 550cc motorcycle.
Right.
And it's a 1911 rather, sorry, 550cc motorcycle.
Right.
And next to this is, it's a Douglas.
Right.
Again, it's a 1917 500 twin.
Okay.
It's a twin cylinder motorcycle.
Okay.
Two-stroke engine.
Right.
And a very, you can say, very fast moving motorcycle.
Okay. Oh, and I like this little basket at the back as well.
Yeah.
But Anil, all of these bikes are essentially all up and running. They're all in working condition.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of them.
All are running. All are in running condition. Just a basket to keep,
to carry your stuff.
Yeah.
If your wife sent you out shopping to pick up groceries, well, it's got
those
a basket
days also.
at the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is an AGS. Yeah, no, it's an AGS 1927. Okay. It's again a racing motorcycle of those days.
What capacity are we talking about?
It's a 500cc twin cylinder motorcycle.
500cc
yeah,
in 1927.
Yes.
Till today, we see the Bullet 500 being so ubiquitous around here in India and actually abroad as well.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about a 500cc.
Correct.
Back in the 1920s.
Yes.
Wow. So all of these, just like the cars, were all brought here well in working condition, and they're all working. We're actually going to start one of them for you as well, a little ahead.
This one is, of course, a Norton.
Okay.
1939, 16H is the model.
Okay.
And this was a very steady kind of a machine.
Okay.
Again, it's a 500 single-cylinder machine.
Oh, lovely. No, but what's very special is
you can see the meter.
It's in miles per hour.
It's in miles per hour.
Okay, so it's definitely not here from India. But I'll tell you something, Anil. This is one that caught my eye. And this being something very special, I know even now, Bullet enthusiasts try getting the military green. It's very tough to get your hands on even the used car market.
Absolutely.
But this is the original military green.
Correct. See, you can see this is not a glossy paint. It's a very matte kind of a paint job.
Right.
And it's a 1942 model.
Right.
In 1942, I think in Second World War, they used to use this motorcycle.
Yeah, when you say World War, well...
Yeah, this helmet is also still there.
It came with it. It's got a nice, khaki bag on the side as well.
Absolutely.
And well, this is the original deal. This is the real deal, guys. It's not just one of those, relics that have been polished for you. This is essentially the real deal.
This one again,
This I've seen on the roads, and there are many BMW models of this.
But this is again a 1955 model.
Okay.
With the Boxer engine. This is horizontal engine.
Right.
And this is again a very, you can say, very smooth machine. It's a very successful model of a BMW. This is R50 is the model. It's a 500 twill machine.
Wow. And well, just on the speedometer.
This is again a milometer.
It's a milometer, and it's giving you So I think that out here at least the top speed is around 120. So it can easily hit nearly.
Absolutely.
A 90 or 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Still till today.
Not 100 miles, but around 70 to 80
miles per hour.
Yes, absolutely. Still you can.
Wow.
This one is the Triumph Tiger 100, 1957 model.
This is owned by you?
Yeah, this is my personal vehicle.
Absolute beauty.
And has gone for Cartier shows.
Lovely.
And international.
What makes this one so special? I know there's a lot of Triumph enthusiasts.
See, this one is the company used to claim 100 miles per hour.
Okay.
For the standard motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not some super bike.
No, not at all. That was the fastest motorcycle of those time.
Right.
So this was the fastest motorcycle.
Okay.
And
I'm glad, guys.
You can see the.
This is your toolkit.
The toolkit used to give with the
bike. Lovely.
And this was the condition earlier
of this before you restored it.
Before I restored this vehicle. See, you can see the photos. What was the condition of the vehicle, and.
No, it's very interesting, Anil, you mentioned all this, and we have a lot of people watching. Nisarg Jagdish, thanks so much for watching. Nisarg, such nice ones. Yes, they are. They're beautiful, and you must see them for yourself. My only job was to get you some of these pictures and some stories.
This one is a Vespa scooter.
Okay, now you took my introduction away from me.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. This, guys, is, well, today we see a lot of people with Vespa coming back with these pop colors. Well, this is the original deal. This is, well, the original Vespa, right, Anna?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an original 1963 Vespa.
Which was very popular back then.
Which
is why they perhaps come back right now.
Yeah.
With some of these models. I think it's, it's special that we've managed to get all of these here under one roof. But tell me something, I was speaking to Yash earlier, Anil. It is a very costly hobby to restore it, right? I mean, you have to be passionate about it, but you have to have the funds as well.
Yeah, very true, because nothing is available easily, and to make them to this level, to restore them to this level, it's a very difficult task. It's a very difficult job.
Now I'm going to give you a very easy task. It's not like one of those roadie shows with these are vintage beauties, but we have to prove to the audience that they are working.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'll start. Before
you show me this one.
Yeah. This one is the Honda Benelli. This was the very popular model. It's a 1968 Honda Benelli. And
I'm guessing
with the two cylinders.
But this is 125cc.
125cc twin cylinder.
But zippy. It'd be very zippy.
Not really. It was
steady?
not. Yeah, steady.
Okay.
Zippy is here next to this.
Zippy is here, and zippy is something that we will start for you.
Yes.
All of you guys who take so long with their kickstarts, let's see.
This one is really zippy. This is 1974 4x4 exhaust.
Okay.
4 carburetors, 4 cylinder.
4 carburetors, 4 cylinders, and this is how it sounds.
I'm going to start it.
So this is one that you ride out on the weekends?
Absolutely.
No, it is. It's a powerful grunt.
Yeah.
And Maruti, Hosali are saying they're beautiful. That fourth dimension was for you to listen to it, and not to convince you that they're on, but this is something Anil rides as well on the weekends. But it's a beast. And for all of you struggling with your bikes, kick-starting them and hoping that, well, the button works as well, well, he did that in one shot. And that's not a bike from 2017, 2018, that's a bike from 1974. All right, so hats off to some of this. These are engineering marvels back then, and strangely enough, even till today.
Yeah. This one is the very popular Bobby Rajdoot. You know, this is actually, it's a 175 GTS.
Okay.
But in the film Bobby,
yes,
in 1972, 73, I believe,
okay,
or 72.
They used a similar model.
Yes, similar model. They launched this particular model in film Bobby.
So guys, with all these supercars and vintage bikes and everything, this is an old connection with Bollywood and Hollywood. It's just what you guys love. It's just what all of us love. And while it's tiny, but it was still special.
Absolutely, it's a very fast 175cc two-stroke machine. It's a very, very fast kind of a
and
thing.
this Rajdoot as well, Anil.
Yeah.
I remember when I was much younger, you still see a lot of them on the roads. Now, in the 90s, you saw them.
Correct.
Now, this is very rare.
Very true.
And that's what makes it more special.
Correct. This is, of course, Yamaha Rajdoot 350cc motorcycle. In film Hero, Jackie has used this. He
okay.
Has, this particular
films aside, tell me a little bit more about the specifications.
Yes, definitely. I'll tell you about this motorcycle. This is the very fastest motorcycle. You can see it's from 0 to 100 in 7 to 8 seconds. You know, is to steal it.
0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Kilometers per hour.
Yeah, around in 8 to 9 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, that is the beauty of this machine, you know.
It's lovely. This is something you ride as well. And this,
yes, absolutely.
I must say, touch wood, you've made. This is something you can start for us as well.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I will.
Someone said, okay, one second. Before you start.
Yeah.
Okay, Maruti says, can we buy these old Avengers? Everything comes at a price, but these are people who are very passionate about it. They're people who spend a lot of time, a lot of money on it. So, well, the highest bidder and someone who's passionate about it wins. That's the success mantra.
Yeah.
Also, Vineet Agarwal says, Manoj says, Zabardast. Vineet Agarwal says, starts in one go. Awesome. Now I'll prove to you how even the Rajdoot, Yamaha Rajdoot starts in one go.
Absolutely.
Until
absolutely.
everything is up, all stakes are for this to start in one go.
Yeah, definitely. Why not?
There you go.
The earlier was 4-stroke machine. This is it's a 2-stroke. It's a two-stroke machine.
It is. I think it's lovely, right? I mean, in this, we've been live for 32 minutes, and we started off with the first, semblance of a car running on benzene. We've covered different eras. When we spoke to Yash, we went all the way into American beauties, marvels, and then we came into bikes here with Anil, and I think it's been an interesting journey. We've covered a good 100 years in 30 minutes. I'm glad that we could do this. This is a special place. It's a special show. Anil, Yash, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I must inform everyone that these bikes are out on the roads often. Bandra, Worli, Marine Drive on weekends.
Yes.
Awesome. So you guys, all of you all, also a lot of these bikes and cars will be in Pune, like I said. So if you want to get this experience firsthand, you can always make a trip down here. I am going to make, one stop. And my favorite car, there's a lot of special cars. I'm going to stop and end with something which is special. All of them are really cool. That's very cliche to like the Impala. I'm just saying. This one is special. I think it is very, very, very special considering the lights and what this cord really stands for. I'm going to try taking it for a spin for all of you guys. Thanks so much for watching and stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.